Welcome to this very special edition of NRC. We have a special guest.
It is ARC this time.
It's NRA.
NRA.
Wait. We do not have that sponsorship deal.
Yeah, okay, here's Curtis.
Bye, Allie.
Bye, Allie.
Curtis, you should leave all of that in.
Okay.
Wait, she says. Oh.
Bye,
Bye.
Allie.
Allie's YouTube debut.
I think we caught her in an early episode.
That's true, we did. But she didn't say anything. Or did she?
I don't remember.
I don't think you could hear it,
Okay.
at least not very well.
Yeah,
That
remember.
also might have been an episode where your audio got lost.
Right.
That happened.
That was like one of the first episodes, I think, when we were talking about Picard.
Yep. And then we also lost an entire episode about The Mandalorian, which we haven't re-recorded yet.
Yeah.
We'll get there.
We're milking that cash cow until we have nothing to talk about.
Waiting for Mandalorian season 2 to come out. That way, our
There we
review
go.
of the first season will be topical.
Ah, yes.
There we go.
Good idea.
I like it.
What an idea it is!
Okay. Hello.
Howdy.
Hello. So,
Oh, I was just gonna let the pause fill the air.
Yeah, I feel like
See
the
how-
Craig Ferguson awkward pause.
I don't like it.
The dramatic pause. Calculon.
You didn't wait long enough.
I know I did.
Dramatic pause.
I love the last dramatic pause he has because everyone like walks out and then he says pause.
Yeah, that's right.
Mm.
I don't know, when he did his death scene. That
Yes.
was,
And he actually killed himself
Yeah.
to make it super realistic. And he got like an Oscar, whatever their fake Oscar was.
Right.
I think
I don't remember.
it
what
wasn't
was.
an Oscar because
No, because they can't actually use that. It was their fake award, whatever.
I think it was a Tony.
I don't
No,
Tony's are real.
I'm pretty
no,
sure
it was
a
it was
fake-
an Emmy because it was for TV for his TV show.
Oh, I don't know.
Mm.
Whatever. I just remember they resurrected him so that he could kill himself to get the Emmy.
That's right. Oh man, what a great show.
What a great show indeed.
We have to-
We're not talking about that great show today.
No.
We're talking
No.
about this great show.
Yes.
Ah.
What is this great show?
Star Trek
Never heard of it.
The Next Generation.
And we decided to skip all the first 6 seasons and go straight to season 7.
Well, we talked about yesterday's Enterprise.
All right. Okay.
That was season 4?
Three.
Three. Okay.
It was
I always-
before the Best of Both Worlds.
I always get season 3 and 4 confused because of Best of Both Worlds.
Oh.
Yeah.
What a scrub.
I don't know what that means.
I don't know what it means either, Curtis. That's why I called him a scrub and moved on.
So what are we talking about from season 7?
So there's this episode called Lower Decks.
Ah.
Talking
That's
about
funny.
topical things.
So why did we pick this episode about lower decks?
Well, there was
Noah?
this YouTube commercial for this thing that CBS is doing, an animated Star Trek show called The Lower Decks.
Yes.
And so instead of your suggestion of fanboys, I was like, let's talk about season 7 of The Next Generation's Lower Decks.
Right. Having watched the episode now, I am convinced that
They didn't even
CBS
watch the episode to...
Well, no, I just think that CBS paid some consultant to go through episodes and find something that hadn't. It was like the least explored avenue in all the 700, 800 episodes or whatever.
So they couldn't even do it themselves? They paid somebody to do it
that's
for
my
them?
guess.
I mean, even
That's my
Voyager had like a Little People episode.
Oh, did
I think it was called Good Shepherd or something. I think.
Don't remember.
It might have had multiple Little People episodes.
Well, I feel like because smaller ship and they were all... I don't know. I feel like that's something a Voyager... That's
You'd
something
think it
Voyager
would have done more often, but
Yeah.
it didn't happen that often.
Really?
Really. because
Strange.
Voyager is TNG 2.0,
Suppose.
but with half of the substance, so it's TNG 0.5. Ooh. It was a joke. A rather poorly constructed one, too.
Noah loves Voyager. Thinks
Yeah.
it is the
We've talked about this
greatest
already. Why are we rehashing?
Star Trek
Keep moving on.
ever. And
Noah
Harry
wish-
Kim is an excellent character.
See, this is your pain, not mine. I don't
See?
get why you're bringing it up.
When CBS announces the
The Harry Kim show?
Harry Kim Janeway spinoff,
I'm in.
yep,
I want to see how that train wreck. It would be incredible and terrible. Incredible in a terrible way.
the opening theme is just Harry playing his clarinet.
He's mocking us by playing the Deep Space Nine theme.
Yep. Oh no.
Interesting.
Ugh.
What an interesting way to take that.
Just a whole lot of ugh with a side of blech.
Ryan's really excited for this upcoming CBS show that doesn't exist.
Well, we're getting the lower decks, so who knows? Maybe who knows what we're
A
going to
terrible CBS show that does exist
Well,
is about to
we
exist.
don't know that it's going to be terrible. We can only guess.
Curtis, how many times do you put together a trailer and put the bad bits into it?
I don't know.
I.e., the best stuff that they had was in that trailer, and you didn't enjoy it.
Yeah. I don't know if I didn't enjoy it. It just seemed like Rick and Morty or something else in that kind of cartoon vein.
It's so different from the Star Trek that we're, I guess, more accustomed to. Even Picard, they weren't really like going for that slapstick sort of style with, look at these silly adventures that we're going on.
Don't think that's quite slapstick, but all right.
Maybe not.
Well.
I don't know. Just the little bit of the trailer where there was like a weird medical scene. Someone was pulling a heart out of someone. I was like, what? What is this?
I don't know what it is.
Speaking of that, this is pizza that I'm hungry for. Okay,
His
so
belly aches.
how does the lower decks start out?
That's a good question. I don't remember. I watched it last night.
Riker and Troy are in 10 forward, and they're going over
crew evaluations.
crew evaluations together. And
I do remember.
Riker and they're going back and forth. Riker and Troy.
Give everyone a
Got that?
promotion.
Got that?
Put an end to
Got
it.
that? Almost. Oh, there we go.
Riker says to give everyone a promotion and put an end to it.
Yes. Yep. He's like, and then we cut over to the other side of 10 forward, and there are these some newer faces, some faces that we had seen before. There was, let's see,
The
here.
Vulcan, the human guy, the Bajoran, and Nurse Ogawa.
Yep. Nurse Ogawa is.
The only person that I recognized.
So there was another one that I decided to do a little bit of research into, because when Picard brings up later in the episode when he's grilling
Oh, the Bajoran.
Cedo,
whatever.
Cedo Jaxa, that's her character's name. She was involved in the accident that Wesley Crusher was involved in. She was one of the pilots.
She was one of those pilots?
She was one of those pilots.
That's
So
a callback.
I know. I was
I'm
watching that,
impressed.
and I was wondering, like, so does like everybody get into trouble at Starfleet Academy, and they have these weird things where somebody dies? I'm like, I should look into this a little bit more. And sure enough, she was one of the pilots with Wesley Crusher and Ensign Locarno. I mean, Ensign Paris. I mean, La Paris. I don't know what his name is anymore. But yeah,
His first name may or may not be Tom. We're unsure at this time.
we don't know.
Until about 2 years from now when he'll have the name Tom Paris for sure.
Yeah. I guess.
We're in the 7th season. So in 2 years, Voyager will have been launched.
This is Admiral Paris. Use all necessary force.
Yes.
Is that
Endgame.
Endgame? I was getting there.
But yeah, so she was also involved in it, and she was in the episode, and I was like, oh, sure enough, that's her.
Incredible job.
And it was because of that whole situation that Picard brought her onto the Enterprise, because she wanted to get he wanted her to have a fair shot at exploring her potential. So,
What a forgiving nature.
that guy Picard.
That
He's so
guy
nice.
Picard.
He loves kids.
She was an adult.
Yeah, but Picard loves kids.
That
And we're
soundbite could be isolated and used in very poor ways.
We're introduced to a non-Starfleet officer.
Oh, right.
His name's Ben,
Ben.
Yeah.
the waiter.
Civilian, I think is what he
Yep.
calls himself. Yeah.
Yeah.
Civilian waiter.
Well-
who's really good at poker. Well, not really good.
He plays poker.
Oh yeah, he does win poker. Yeah.
Well, he wins with the junior officers.
Yeah.
Who
We
knows
don't
if-
see
yeah.
how he does with the senior officers. I just think it's funny because he's like, "Hey, Will," and we've never seen this guy before interact
Yep.
with Willie Riker, and we never will again.
He's like, hey. Yeah.
But yes, the Enterprise D was filled with civilians because they had all that space. It was a luxury liner in space. How practical.
Yeah, something.
Why does the theme Titanic start playing in my head at this point? Space iceberg.
Well, the ship does end up destroyed.
It's true. It does crash.
It's a pretty cool crash scene.
Yeah.
The rest of the movie needs some work.
Yeah. Yeah. And Deanna Troi, every time she pilots,
She crashes the ship.
Enterprise. Yeah, for some reason.
Generations and Nemesis.
Oh, right. Yeah. The slowest.
Slowest collision ever.
Hard to port.
Close up, slow mo shot of the ships being torn apart.
Yep.
It was kind of cool
Yeah.
to see that part.
I just remember someone, it was, right when that movie came out, some person was like, so in like the 20 minutes before that, the ships are flying around like X-Wings and TIE fighters, and then, we're almost there. Got it. Like, what? I don't know.
Surprised that it just didn't like boom. Oh well. So what happens? What happens next? Or you were saying something?
Isn't that what should happen in space? Because
You would think.
there's no gravity to keep you stationary. You'd take that momentum and go.
Probably.
You would move with the ship that hit you.
Maybe they activated a emergency tractor beam to pull the ship towards them. As
We're
they
off
were-
topic.
Yeah,
Let's come back.
makes no sense.
No, it doesn't. We shouldn't talk about Nemesis.
So the junior officers are all nervous,
Right.
And Ben has he's gathering the sneak intel for them.
That's right. But he won't. He tells them that what's her name? Jaxa and Lavelle are looking to be in line for the ops position. They're gunning for the same job.
And they look at each other dramatically.
Cut to credits.
Yes.
All right, we don't need to do that.
Yep.
We'll get copyright struck.
Ooh, yes. Not good.
Oh boy.
Can't risk all the money
All
we're
the
making.
money we're not
Such
making.
monetization.
You know, on the 2-hour episode that we did, I swear there was a little yellow line in it at one spot. I was like, "Are we gonna make money?"
No.
I was like, "No, it
No,
was
we're
just
not.
I must have cut away from the video and came back, and it just started back up there." It's like,
Yeah.
oh,
We couldn't disgrace our viewers with ads in our videos. It would be awful.
pay us, please.
I was going to make a similar joke. At least not until we get ads.
Right. So we come back from the credits, and I don't know what's going on.
I think it opens with the officers are running a drill with a couple of
Oh yeah.
Oh, is it the
Yeah,
bridge?
drill.
yeah.
Yes. They're on the bridge. They're like,
I think
fire phasers, do this, do that.
yeah, Jaxa or Cedo or
Cedo's that,
Jaxa, Zaxa.
whatever.
She hesitates.
Yeah,
Or she doesn't hesitate. She just
she didn't know how to get
Get-
the gun retargeted fast enough when
Right.
they broke out of warp or something.
Yeah. Well, Riker was like, just let it drift.
Yeah,
Let the target drift. Let your targeting computer drift with it or something. I don't remember.
they don't teach you that
It's-
at the academy,
yeah,
kid.
He's the master
Yeah.
of the trade.
Yeah,
You know.
He's been around for
Right.
7 years.
right. Yeah.
He knows a few things.
pretty good at his job.
Knows a few ladies.
Right.
And then some.
right.
That's true. Yeah, and then he just ends up marrying Troy anyways.
After she broke up with Worf.
That whole
Dwarf
thing, I'm
romance is so
confused.
ill-conceived. What do you mean? He was married to her in that alternate timeline, and then he was like, I should give this a shot, I guess. And then he did.
And then you come back in Generations or any of the movies, and they're not together anymore.
Right. Well,
Enter-
I mean,
Maybe it's because the Enterprise blew up and they went off on their different paths.
right. That's the implication, because at the beginning of DS9, or when he comes in DS9, beginning
Yeah.
of season 4, he's like, I was meditating with the monks on that planet where he found Kahless, the
Ah,
clone of
yes.
Kahless. He was like, I was there talking with those people.
Mm.
After the destruction of the Enterprise D, I didn't have like place to go. So
Well, and did all good things kind of set up that they might break up? Because, all good things, Riker and him had been angry, but then
right,
Picard explained
but that was
everything to
because
them.
Troy was dead in the future.
Right. But then Picard explained it to them all. He apparently explained what had all happened.
Oh, right, yeah.
And I don't know if that changed things.
I don't remember.
It might have.
Yeah, I guess it was never really.
Wasn't that Admiral Riker
Yes.
Yes, with the 3 nights up.
with Captain Crusher or Captain Picard Crush? Well, just Captain Picard.
Captain Picard
Right.
and Captain Crusher Picard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of Captain Picard, did you see he turned 80? Patrick Stewart
I did not.
Oh
the other day.
He is old.
Yep. And get as many seasons of Picard out of him as possible.
You should have gone with Bill. He's got so much more energy at like 87.
Have you watched all of Boston Legal?
I have not.
Oh my gosh, he is so funny. It's
We talked about this the other day that we
did.
all need to
Briefly.
watch it.
It's just so ridiculous, and he just does all these classic ooh, classic William Shatner expressions all the time.
Denny Crane.
Yeah,
Denny Crane.
Denny Crane. He's walking down the hallway to go to a court proceeding, and the camera people have their microphones. Denny Crane, I like candy, Denny Crane. It's like, what?
I'm telling you, they should have gone with Bill.
It's funny because so I didn't know this before, but Boston Legal was apparently a spin-off show
Right.
from I forget what the
Practice.
The Practice. And Denny Crane, he came in as a guest for like one episode, and they liked him so much as that character. And they were like, we're going to reprise your role in our spin-off where you guys are going to go into a practice together. And when Denny Crane like hardly ever does anything, he just kind of walks around and he's like, Denny Crane.
Well, the episode we watched last night, he was all depressed because he and his wife got divorced or something. And he's watching TV and he sees that this guy had set up a home security system to electrocute anyone who touched their windows or something. He's, I want that case. We're very off topic.
And now we're on Boston Legal.
Yep.
We're all over the place this week.
Gotta watch it.
So they're doing this drill, and it didn't go as well at
Riker
not as
gives
good as
pointers.
Gamma Team or whatever.
Gamma shift.
And, the other person that's
What's his
the other
name?
junior officer,
The red shirt.
Torek or something. I think that's his name.
Are you talking about the Vulcan or the red shirt?
The Vulcan.
Okay. He's off with he's in engineering, and he's like, Geordi, I have this crazy warp field theory that'll improve efficiency by 7%. Here, look at it.
Jordy just gets steadily more annoyed. Like, he's trying to get away.
Yeah.
Can't quite get away.
Yeah. But he's like, I'd be happy to give you all of my pointers for
I did a thesis in Starfleet Academy. Here it is.
Jordy's just like, I'll get back to you. And he runs off. And we're introduced to those. So Lavelle and Torek the Vulcan, they're apparently like roommates.
Yes.
And the big reason that Lavelle wants the promotion is like, I want my own quarters. I don't want to be around him anymore.
Ouch. Good thing the Vulcan doesn't feel any emotion.
Yeah, he doesn't really mind. He's like, whatever.
You should probably put in for a quarters transfer now in case you don't get the promotion, I think is his response.
Yeah. So they're kind of going back and forth. We get some interactions between Nurse Ogawa and Dr. Crusher, and they're good friends. And Ogawa is talking about how my boyfriend might be cheating on me or something because he's getting all distant.
It wasn't cheating. She was just like, he's being weird.
Oh yeah.
We're in the future. People don't cheat.
Whatever. They can do whatever in the future.
This isn't Game of Thrones, Ryan.
Unfortunately.
The Game of Thrones.
I think it's fortunate.
Yeah. I don't know. We got a couple good seasons out of Game of Thrones.
What do you mean? All 6 seasons of that show are great.
Oh, yes. Haha. Anyways, so what happens next?
I don't know. What does happen next? Is it the phaser testing on the shuttle? Or no, the shuttle, they pick up a distress signal from an escape pod, right?
Right, yeah. And all the lower decks crewmen don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
They're all questioning everything, and they have to go closer to the border of Cardassia space.
Cardassian border.
Yep.
Ah. Bloody Cardassians. Bloody Cardies.
So at this time, are we in like season 3 of Deep Space Nine?
Maybe 1 or 2.
1 or 2.
1 or 2? Okay. Yeah, I couldn't remember.
Yeah,
It would be like early 2, late 1.
Okay. So the tensions between Cardassia and the Federation are still mixed.
Yes.
Yeah, it isn't. They're not blowing each other up, I don't think. At least not much.
Nope.
But we find out kind of in this episode that there's still some other skirmishes and wars that Cardassia are going through.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Naturally.
Naturally.
So they head over to this escape pod or whatever. They get there, and they have to figure out a way how to get it from Cardassia space to their ship, because it's still a little bit across the border. So we cut over to LaForge and Torek, and they're trying to figure out some way to make the energy higher, boost a signal, something.
I don't remember this
5G.
part of the episode.
Yeah, I don't remember this part of the episode either.
Well, they have to get the guy, so then
I thought that was transporter doohickey.
Maybe that. I don't know. Either way, they're trying to boost the signal to get him and get him on board.
Maybe.
Perhaps.
But then, yeah, so...
Nurse Ogawa gets shooed out of sickbay.
Yeah. And then we see the transporter beam start, and then they cut away. It's a mystery.
Charlie Brown.
J.J. Abrams might have directed this episode.
There are answers to these questions, so no.
Oh, yeah, good point. Yeah, and then what? Picard goes in there, and then and what's her face is guarding the door, and he asks her to accompany him, and it's very quiet. And they get in the turbo lift, and he asks her about
Her piloting skills.
yes, piloting skills.
That was the thing that keyed me after hearing the discussion about her Starfleet Academy days. I was like, he said something about her being a pilot. Is this one of those pilots? So
That's what drew Ryan on the scent.
So they go to the ready room.
Yes.
And this is where Picard really grills her. He's like, "Whoa, tough Picard."
I don't remember anything that he said.
Yeah, I don't either.
It's pure British nonsense.
I think the last thing he says is that you don't have a place on this ship due to the mistakes that you've made or something, or you don't have
I'll
a
take your
place
word
here.
for it.
It's something along those lines. And then we cut over to the poker game.
Poker.
And it's a dual poker game because
Dual poker.
junior officers and senior officers are playing at the same time.
Drawing parallels. Oh, we skipped over the part where Ogawa got asked back into sickbay, and she saw that it was a Cardassian
yeah.
they needed to replicate. I only remembered that because at the poker game, they asked her if she knew what's going on, and she has to say no because she was told she can't talk about it.
Yeah. Forgot about that.
It's crazy how my brain works. I don't understand it either.
So they're playing poker.
There's cards. There's chips.
There's a lot of discussions. Worf and Riker are going back and forth on whether or not what's her name, Ensign Jaxa, should be up for the job for ops. And Picard is like, I don't know how I feel about Lavelle. He's such a...
You mean Riker?
Oh, yeah. How Riker feels about
If you'll
Lavelle.
recall, Picard didn't make it to the poker game
That's
until the
right.
last episode.
The last episode.
Right. Last episode.
All good things.
Did you know, back in my academy days...
We used to end every toast with a song.
Oh, no.
Cheer up. Yep. We're playing poker. Riker is like, I don't know how I feel about Lavelle. He's such a pleaser. He's trying so hard to try to please people because he wants to get promoted. And so Troy has this discussion with Riker how it's like, you did the same kind of things when you were trying to get promoted to lieutenant back on whatever ship you were a part of, and you learned how to play poker because of you wanted to be promoted. And Riker's all defensive, like, I'm actually very good at poker and I really like it.
You're bluffing.
Mm-hmm.
Cut back.
Yeah.
Parallels.
Yep. Oh yeah, forgot to mention Ben, the civilian, is also playing poker with them.
Yes, with the junior officers,
Mm-hmm.
to clarify.
Yeah. So Ben calls Lavelle's bluff, and sure enough, he was bluffing.
But Riker was not.
Riker was not bluffing, and he...
He had the flush.
Mm-hmm.
How do you do it? I'm your worst nightmare.
Ah, yes.
That explains it. So you cheated.
Something.
Right, so Gates McFadden had, like...
Dr. Beverly Crusher.
Dr. Beverly Crusher had thought that she had seen, some ill relationshipness going on, but she was saved.
She was relieved.
Yes. And then what? The
Cut
plan?
to commercial.
I guess.
Maybe.
I think was right after that.
I think this also cuts in when they have some other times when they're in 10 forward and Ben tells Lavelle to like
Talk
just go
to
talk to
Riker
Riker. Just try
about
to be
Canadians.
Yeah.
Will.
He's like yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
You
Canadian.
call him Will? I bet he
That was the
sleeps in
beginning.
his uniform. Yeah, he's like, well, he's Canadian. Oh yeah, my grandfather was Canadian. So he brings that up, and he's like,
And Will's
actually,
like,
I'm Alaskan. I grew up in Alaska.
Oh, they both have snow. It's like,
It's like, wow, that's where you went with that, huh? And then he just walks away. He leaves his drink at the bar too.
And he had ordered another drink too. It's like whatever Riker was drinking, he was like, I'll have one of those, I guess.
I don't remember that.
Leaves both of them.
Worf makes
yes.
what's her face do the Jing Tach. I don't know what it was.
The test.
I wish I
made-up
knew what it
test, yeah.
was.
The made-up blindfolded test.
The Iktal challenge.
Iktal.
That's
Yeah,
it.
I think
you're right.
it's something like that. In any case,
And she's blindfolded, and
she has to defend herself against Worf.
yep.
She's like 2 feet shorter than
It's
She's like tiny.
No.
Yeah.
She has
He just tosses
zero
her around.
chance.
Like, oh.
Yeah. And eventually she gets fed up with the situation because she's just like, I can't beat you like this. Like,
It's not a fair test.
yep, not a fair test. And Worf's like, good job.
Yeah.
Goes and grabs his towel, starts toweling himself like you broke a sweat.
Oh, she apparently also knew Klingon.
She knew enough Klingon to recognize that Iktal was to the death.
Yeah. And it's like, is that a real test? It's like, no.
No. It's a challenge to the death.
But it's he gives her enough of a push to go talk again with Captain Picard to defend
Stand up
herself.
for herself.
Yeah.
Mm.
And so we cut to the ready room, and there she is. She's making her case. They're going back and forth, and Picard is eventually like, it took a lot of courage for you to do that.
It was my own Iktal challenge.
And
Because he says that he requested her on the
Mhm.
Enterprise.
yes. Yeah, because he kept tabs on her after the incident.
The incident.
Yes. And then decided that since she's willing to stand up for herself, that makes you qualified to do this extremely dangerous mission.
Which
where-
I won't order you on.
Yes.
All right.
But go to the
Observation lounge.
observation lounge, and we'll discuss at 900 hours or something. And yeah. So we cut over there eventually, and that's where there's the reveal that, it's a Cardassian.
Well, we'd already
Oh,
seen that.
All right.
That's right.
Realization for
For
our
her.
character.
Yes.
Yeah. And he's alive and well.
They got that blood situation under control.
Right. Yeah. Synthesized Cardassian blood. Wow.
Good thing they had those replicators.
Right.
Yes.
Handy technology.
I don't know. They
They talk about that he feeds Starfleet information as an agent, and he needs to get back into Cardassian space.
yeah.
And he needs to do it convincingly, because otherwise he'll be dead.
Yep. One would look suspicious, but if I brought back a prisoner and claimed that I was like a bounty hunter, that might work for my favor.
Right.
So she agrees to do this, or she volunteers because Picard knows that he can't just order somebody to do.
To go and die.
Yeah.
Actually, he can.
He can.
He's the captain.
He could. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bye bye.
But he doesn't want to.
Right.
'Cause he doesn't want that on his conscience.
Right.
Well, this isn't exactly a Starfleet mission.
True.
It's more of like Starfleet doing this guy a favor.
Section 31.
One.
What?
I was
What
going
if-
for Section 30, like the less undercover organization.
What if that's what we got next? Section
Please
31 series.
Dark
They
track.
they announced that like 3 years ago, and they never went anywhere.
Section 31.
Oh my
Dark
God.
track.
If we did Dark Trek, if they did Dark Trek, they would have to do Tiberius Kirk with Thomas Riker.
Oh.
Imagine that combo. Did Thomas Riker die?
Unknown.
We don't really know.
Okay.
He was captured by the Cardassians and sentenced to for life labor. No death sentence.
I don't remember that. But okay.
Deep Space Nine episode in season 3, I want to say, Defiant.
Mm-hmm.
Thomas Riker shows up on the station pretending to be William Riker, commandeers the Defiant in the name of the Maquis. Yes,
remember
couldn't
that.
come-
But I didn't remember him getting captured.
Well, in exchange for the wayward ship and the wayward crew, Thomas Riker took the fall for the mission, so that Ducat wouldn't take the fall.
Ducat.
Someone was going to pay for this incident, and he didn't want it to be him.
Gotcha. Alrighty.
Ducat.
What a great Cardassian.
Mm.
Reminds me a lot of a Gul Marset.
Curious.
Curious. I believe it was season 5 of The Next Generation.
Yeah, 5 or 6.
I'm glad that Curtis knows what I'm talking about.
Huh. Okay, so
She agrees. There's phaser wear and tear put on a shuttlecraft.
which Mr. Vulcan was very
He's
curious about.
Well,
he figured out what
Yes.
they're doing, and Jordy's like, "Shut up! Don't say
Man,
another
that
word."
is a weird coincidence, isn't it?
Indeed, it is.
Yes. Would you like me to fire from over there next, sir? Yes, I would.
Oh boy!
Smart Vulcans.
Smart Vulcans.
So they get ready, the shuttle to head back to Cardassian space, while Lieutenant Jaxa gets all make-upped to look like she'd been hit. She leaves the ship, and all of the other junior officers are speculating. At one point, they're like, "Where's she gone? Haven't seen her in hours," or whatever.
And then Ben, he's like, I heard it's Ambassador Spock.
Oh, right, yeah.
I think that was earlier, but still.
Yeah.
Right, they were speculating as to who was on the
The
escape pod.
yeah.
I heard it was Ambassador Spock.
Oh boy.
Oh, that would have been great if it had been Ambassador Spock. Brought him back for season 7.
I think he was done with Star Trek at that point.
He had been done with Star Trek like 10 times at
Right.
that point.
And then J.J. Abrams showed up at his door and went,
Want
"Want
some
all this money?"
Yeah.
He was like, "Oh, fine. Get me some of that Aleve I did all those commercials for."
Yeah, but then he made a bunch of money with Audie, him and young Spock. What's his
Right.
name?
Zachary
Oh, Bilbo.
Bilbo.
Baggins.
Happiest little hobbit of them all, or something.
That was a good commercial.
Do you have the copy of the CD that I have? It's a William Shatner and Leonard Nimoy greatest hits CD of their music.
I do not own
I've,
this.
I've heard.
What do
some
you
of
mean?
William
William Shatner
Shatner's
music is
I've heard
great.
some of it. It's.
I'm the real Shady. All you others.
Well, this
seem
is pre
shady.
that.
I know,
yeah.
that was pre.
Yeah.
There was one. Didn't he do Rocket Man?
Yeah, Rocket Man is
Spoken-
I'm a rocket man.
Yes.
And he's like smoking during it too.
Oh, I've
up
never
on
seen the
stage.
music video.
It's something.
Oh my.
So, junior officers are concerned. They haven't heard anything from her.
They're sitting on the neutral or the edge of the Cardassian border, scanning for an escape pod.
It's been 32 hours.
32 hours.
Yeah, so the plan was that once they got contact, the Cardassian, his name is Joret Dahl, I think. Once they make contact with the Cardassians, she was going to pretend to be a prisoner, and during like the whole exchange, she was going to try to make a quick break for an escape pod and get back to Federation space. 32 hours have gone by, no contact. Worf is getting antsy.
Yes.
They all kind of are.
I recommend we send a Class 1 probe or something.
Yeah.
Probe.
Recommend we send a probe. It'll increase our sensor range.
And Riker's like, sending that probe would break the treaty that we
treaty.
have with
Yeah.
Cardassia. And Picard's like, do it.
Yeah. Make it so.
Make it so.
And they figure it out in like 5 seconds.
5 seconds.
It's
Oh,
like,
wow. Look at all this debris.
Yep. She didn't survive.
She's
No.
dead.
Actually, I haven't watched this episode in 10, 15 years, however long. So I didn't remember that at all, that she died.
What
Kind
an
of a-
unpleasant surprise.
So she was a true red shirt in
Gold-
the TNG age.
Yes, wearing gold.
Yes.
Yeah.
She's gone. Bye.
Bye-bye now. Bye-bye.
Mm-hmm.
And, Picard has to do like a big intercom speech about
Let's
how
the entire ship know that only this person that only maybe a quarter of the ship knew is dead.
and she had only been on the Enterprise for 7 months.
Very few people on this ship knew her
Yeah.
or knew that she existed.
Well, maybe they were aware of her through her. Was it Red Squad? Was that a Red
No.
Squad thing?
No, it's
The-
something else.
Does that actress come back to play someone in Red Squad? I think I know who you're
Oh.
thinking of.
Well, I was just wondering.
Oh, you
if-
mean-
It's a similar.
The Valiant?
Yeah.
I don't think it's her, but it's somebody
It's
who
a
looks.
it
She has
looks
blonde
like-
hair, so
Sure.
she looked a
Wow,
lot
just
like
throwing
her.
all blondes in there.
Yeah.
Well, no, I
That's
was
all I
just.
remember.
I was thinking. So the group that
Red
Wesley
Squad
was a
didn't-
part of wasn't Red Squad.
It
at
didn't
that point?
exist yet.
Oh, okay.
They were part of Nova Squadron. That's what they
Nova
were called.
Squad. Ah,
Squadron.
Okay. Squadron.
Yeah.
They were flying, so they're not a squad of people. They're
Ah.
a
They did
squadron of
the
flying ships.
Colvord starburst maneuver.
That thing that got that
that-
person killed,
It went like.
and that
different
person
directions,
died.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then Tom Paris Locorno was there.
You mean
Right.
La Paris?
He's not La Paris until he's in prison.
Okay.
So at that point, he was still Locorno.
Okay.
Then he becomes La Paris, and
Is
then
it-
when he gets out, he is Paris.
Is this like
Admiral-
Schrodinger's cat or something?
Yeah.
Did
Yes.
Admiral Paris adopt him and just make
Change
sure he
his
changed
name?
his name?
While
Give
he
you
was
a
in
fresh
prison.
start, kid. Yeah.
Yes. I'm also gonna let you become a savant at everything while in prison. Know how to fix cars. Become a nurse.
Add
Engineer.
aerodynamic tail fins or whatever.
An engineer, a history buff,
Yeah.
Just
a commando.
that's right.
He led the commandos or something.
Just-
Like
he just does so much.
he's so great.
Yeah. What a good character.
They gave him all of the character traits, and Harry Kim none.
Oh.
Harry Kim, you know how to play the clarinet. That's it. Sometimes you scan things. Oh, okay.
Oh.
But Paris will also scan things too. You know, don't want to rain on your parade.
Right.
Oh. Anyways,
Yeah.
they're all sad. We cut back to 10 forward, and the rest of the group is gathering together. Worf is over in his
Corner.
at his table, up in the corner. Lavelle comes in, and he shows him that, hey, I got my promotion. I'm going to be a lieutenant now. And he's all bummed because he's like, she probably deserved it more. But they're like, no, she'd be happy for you. She'd be telling you how good you are. And then Ben the waiter goes over to Worf and is like, I gotta clean up this table. There's a spot over there where you can sit.
Nudge,
Very
nudge.
insistent civilian with a Klingon. Oh, speaking of Ben and Worf, wasn't there an earlier part where they were like, Worf looks angry, and Ben's like, no, he always looks like that.
That might have happened.
He's just, I don't remember. But anyways, Worf goes over and sits with them at the end, and they don't really say anything. They just
Right.
they just sit
Fade.
there, and then we watch the Enterprise and
Fly
warp
away.
and end credits.
One of the most overused model shots ever.
It's wonderful. Especially in the original 4:3 aspect ratio.
Right. I wonder if anyone has gone through and has tried to make a widescreen cut using the Blu-ray DVDs. I mean, it'd be silly,
It would be silly.
but they could.
Like, are you talking like crop?
All right, crop it. And just,
You'd lose so much.
Who cares about the top and bottom? You're putting more focus on what's
The
in
top
the middle.
and bottom of people.
Well, you adjust, what part of the 4:3 fits in that in the letterbox, but I know they talked about it. I in the bonus features,
Yes.
Michael Okuda talks about how they could have done it, but in reality, the film that they shot, the wide stuff, just had like light stands and stuff in there. So, oh,
Yeah.
Well, also, all the effects shots were all
oh yeah, they
four
were
by
shot
three.
like that, yeah.
Yes. So if they went full widescreen, you'd just have cut off of ship.
Right.
You
yes.
wind up with Starfield on, and
Right.
just cut off of ship.
Yeah. You're right.
So,
All right.
that's the episode.
That is the episode.
It's a pretty good episode.
I like it.
It was different,
Yeah. You got to see a different part of the Star Trek universe.
Right. They didn't, unfortunately, give us like any different sets or anything as a result. Something that they have to do on a day-to-day basis. The random lab.
Like that episode of Star Trek Voyager,
Right. Or,
where you're on like the bottom of the ship, you see out the little window, and he's like hunched over in a Jeffries
Yeah,
tube, pressing
yeah.
the console. He's like, "I like it down here. Don't take me away.
yeah.
I-
Exactly.
I don't exceed expectations because I like it here." I think was like actually a part of that episode
Wow.
where he's like, "You have so much more potential." Yeah, but I don't want to achieve it.
Yeah, so will this episode be better
Yes.
than the entire Lower Deck series?
Absolutely.
What if they bring William Shatner in to voice a character in the Lower Decks?
That might be funny.
Okay. I don't think it would work out
I don't-
timeline-wise.
Probably not.
Are you being Drake? Isn't it like... He's like, he does that, but then you say something else, he's like, whatever.
Isn't
Isn't the
that-
meme?
Oh, I know what I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly like that.
It's kind of interesting to see a TNG adventure, but not see it from the normal perspective.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like, what's going on? I
Oh.
don't know.
And it's like, that's what it's like for 99% of the people on the ship.
Mm-hmm. Yes, we as viewers are just
Very lucky.
Yes.
Fortunate.
we get
We get
all the
everything.
well, not all the info, but all the info that could be given without
Becoming overly expository.
right. Yes.
Yeah.
Curtis is listening.
I'd say it's a pretty good episode. They were winding down with Star Trek. They knew that it was going to be ending soon, so they decided
Season
to
7.
take a chance and do something new for an episode, doing a different perspective, and say they did pretty well.
Just give me a chance. Give me a chance. What about my uncle? Did you give him a chance? Did you?
Tobey Maguire,
Yes.
Spider-Man.
Great movie.
I haven't watched that first one in a long time.
Which one's better, 1 or 2?
2?
2.
Wow. I don't know. I kind of like 1 more, I think. Cheesy Doc Ock CGI just kind of takes me out of the experience at times.
I think it's just the idea that we had a, do I want to be Spider-Man anymore? The fact that they were, because that was a pretty big thing that they did in the comics originally, when he wanted to give up being Spider-Man, and then the fact that they did that really well in a movie.
Noah's
I was
over.
letting you talk.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, I also really like Willem Dafoe though, so it's pretty close for me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
Willem
Yeah.
Dafoe.
Did they copy Lord of the Rings? His kind of Gollum-like split personality.
That's something that always existed for both of those characters, so I don't know. Like and subscribe.